bill that's just been put forward to raise the minimum wage, and also talk a little about whether that's as big a deal as we're told to believe. How much of a difference would the Raise the Minimum Wage Act make for U.S. workers? This article asks. This article asks. The federal minimum hourly wage is just $7.25, which is, of course, hilarious in this world, in our current nation, where, like, if you have a kid and you go to the grocery store, good luck getting out of a grocery store for less than $100. Like, good fucking luck. And I'm talking, getting the off brands. I'm talking not the Snap, Crackle, Pops. You're getting the Snip, Kukle dips. You're getting that off brand where you're like, I don't recognize these people. They look like it's like Snap, Crackle, and Pop. If they had a bad meth habit, one of them has a patch over its eye, one of them is missing teeth. You're like, Snip, Kukle, Pip. And you get that bag. Even saving money that way, you're still not easy to get out of a grocery store for under $100 these days if you have a family or even one kid, or even a dog that's picky, even a picky dog, picky parakeet. You are truly fucked. Anyway, $7.25 an hour, still $7.25 federal minimum wage. The Raise the Wage Act of 2023, introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate on July 25th, would gradually, I love that, we're the Democrats, we will fight for you. Very gradually. So gradually, you might not even notice. It's like an aircraft carrier turning around. It takes it roughly a day and a half, and you don't even notice it's happening. That's us fighting for change for you. The bill would also gradually raise and then eliminate sub-minimum wages, which I remember talking about that before. That's basically tipped workers are called sub minimum wage, meaning they don't even have to have the minimum wage. And when I didn't realize it was called that, sub minimum wages. And I'm like, hey, fuck faces. It's called the minimum wage for a reason, you asshole. You can't have sub minimum wages. You can have a post-death minimum's the bottom. That's it. He had a post-death demise. Yeah, that's what happened to him. He died. And a few days later, it was all over for him. No, it's a fucking minimum wage. It's the bottom. Minimum. It's the word. It's the word. It's the word. Minimum. You can't have sub-minimum. Anyway, but we do. Because honestly, that's capitalism for you. Right when you think you're at the bottom. Right when you think, can't get any lower than this, they come up with a sub-minimum wage. I'm at the minimum. Yeah, well, wait till you get down to sub-minimum. Workers with disabilities, young workers, so that all workers covered by the Fair Labor Standards Act. Our Orwellian language has just, it's reached new levels, hasn't it? Would be at the same wage level. What would its impact be of this bill? The analysis shows that raising the federal minimum wage to $17 by 2028. What 2028? We're all going to $17 by 20. We're all going to be on fire, and $1 is going to be $100 bill is going to be like a dime in 2028. Are you out of your mind? 2028. Jesus Christ. I'm wondering who's going to be here on August 28th. Okay? You're fighting for $17 in 2028. Anyway, if this were to pass, can you tell I'm a little skeptical? If this were to pass, hasn't even passed yet. If this were to pass, it would impact 27.8 million workers. Wow, that sounds good, right? But wait. Across the country, 19% of the U.S. workforce. The increases would provide an additional $86 billion annually to those workers, with the average affected worker who works year-round receiving an extra $3,000. So a fraction of the U.S. workforce would, by 2028, receive an extra $3,000 a year. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it, but this is about as little as they can do. In summer 2023, 19 states, so this is why not every state would even be impacted. 19 states and localities implemented minimum wage increases based on state, local, or municipal laws that already set the minimum wage higher than the federal standard. In total, 30 states and Washington, D.C. have a minimum wage above the federal minimum. Workers in most of these states will still benefit from a $17 federal minimum wage. So the thing to keep in mind also is that this is just federal workers. So yes, it does impact something like 28 million, but those are just federal workers. So unless you work for the federal government at a minimum wage job, you will not be impacted by this. And you won't get up to $17 an hour until 2028, at which time no one will be using dollars for currency anymore. They will be used as kindling in order to start up the wheat thresher machines to try and survive another month in the bunker underneath the radioactive clouds. And at that point, the main currency is going to be jars full of semen. So yeah, that's what's happening in 2028. So I don't know how much hope you should really put out into the world for this bill. That being said, go ahead, pass it. Sure, why not? Maybe a few people get a couple of dollars.